But shouldn't INEC be looking at what was suggested about going electronic so that these issues of transfer, because this Paul's situation is one amongst many.
I agree with you. Number one, the laws have to be changed. Most people are not even aware that we could use the...
If I may come in here,
okay.
Is there anything stopping INEC from making a request for a change or amendment of the laws?
Even the laws were changed in 2015. The then president assented to that law that says that we can use electronic, or we can use electronic in any of our people. And even the judiciary was not aware in 2016 when we were trying some of these cases. What I know is that eventually, whether we like it or not, we are going to go electronic, but it has to be piloted. It is huge, and it's very intense. It's not something you just dive into overnight. If you are going to go electronic, we should not make the same mistake we did with the smart card readers. It was never piloted, and you will see that there was a lot of malfunction.
Okay, he also, Dr. Ikubese also mentioned electronic voting, I think, and then, but let me pick up on something INEC is working on. We believe you talked about some partnership somewhere about transmitting election results live. Tell us about that. How is that supposed to curb rigging elections, for instance?
Well, we don't call it transmission. We just talk about, okay, at the electronic transmission, really, what we're trying to do is that come 2019, every result at a polling unit will be scanned at that particular polling unit. A full scan. This, it will just be, it's just an exact replica of what is there, and it goes into a central server, and this is stored. We are going to rely on this for 2019. We've started piloting. We did it in Sokoto. We did it in Anambra, although it was not the determinant of the results. We used them to compare. We have been testing some of these transmissions, but then we are going to make sure that come 2019, we are going to make sure that these scanned results are fully operational, or they are determinants of results.
So
that's what I mean by piloting. It's the same thing with the electronic voting. If you are going to vote, you have to pilot at least before you go there. Our major constraint here is time. We don't really have time for such procurement, the design of the machine, which will be suitable for us, and of course the piloting. Time is not on our side.
That's when, assuming the amendments come through.
That's even no. We have a right to do it. We are not
Already.
aware, as I told you. The amendment was signed in 2015, but it was not even made public until 2016.
So why don't you have time?
We have just 365 days now.
Have you presented your budget?
The electoral,
INEC budget. Have you presented to the House, to the National Assembly?
Well, we are going to do that within the week. So but let me put it this way.
Can you blame Nigerians? You have to blame yourself for that one.
We blame everybody, not just ourselves.
Why would you blame?
Let me tell you this. He was talking about long queues on the line for continuous voter registration.
Yeah, but about that budget before you go to the long queues.
That's just money too. It's a matter of paucity of funds. We know the best way to go about it. In fact, he was talking about some people spending 4 hours. We have places where they give them tags. They ask you to come back the following day to do this. It's just the materials at our disposal for this. This is caused by
if
funds.
you haven't presented your budget, you can't blame anybody but yourself.
The appropriate
you can't even blame National Assembly.
In fact, we are not blaming anybody. For instance, now let me ask you a question. Even if you had presented the budget, let's say we presented last year, and we are planning for a 2-tier election and a 3-tier election now stares us in the face. What happens?
Well, that's hypothetical.
Let me ask you this question, because when you talked about the process of using the electronic means to forward results from the
scanner,
to scan the results and then forward them, I want to pick it from there, because there seems to be some gap there. If you have to take photocopies of those ones to send them directly, what if in an event where that is done and then we have it being hacked at some point?
We think along that line too, but we wouldn't give you what we do about that, so that we will not give the hackers even, we wouldn't give them an incentive
Because
to
even
do
at
some of
that,
the things.
even at that,
We know the problems that could be associated with it. And we want to assure you that none of our materials will be hacked. We are using the smart card reader itself, and we are enhancing it to be a scanner. It will just be as good as the original. We have been given assurances that this cannot be hacked. For instance, the smart card reader for a very long time has not been hacked. Smart card readers have just been we have not had the hacked type for anybody to use, or else you will have seen a lot of private accreditation going on in some of the places.
who gave you the assurance
The assurance of the
process not being hacked?
I'm telling you, that's a secret which we are going to keep to ourselves. But if it did not happen with our smart card readers, I believe we can safeguard this particular one.
So if we're going to proceed on that, how do you see this playing out? Because if they have this process in place and we're looking at electronic going, as you said, go the full hog, having an electronic system, wouldn't you subscribe to, say, for instance, if a candidate comes, or should I say voter comes, and then goes through the process and immediately it registered at a database immediately, so you don't have to go through the process of scanning? What do you think?
Absolutely. Like the fellow who just sent in a message online now on Timberlane Red. Now, he lives in Taraba State, and then he has to come back to Lagos State because he wants to change his place of casting his votes. That is strange. We're in 21st century. What I'm expecting INEC to do is to do an online platform where you can just log into the website of INEC, type in your permanent voter's card registration number, and then this is where I was living, now this is where I live, and then you just fill it online. Then go to the local government office where you live and pick up a new PVC. Mr. Shribi, that's very feasible. So that's the way I think.
Very, very, very easy.
But the banks do it.
Do you realize that even all over Europe,
Yes.
they still do most of their voting manually?
We don't have
I was in Western Germany.
Yes.
They don't even trust these machines. That's number one. Then number two, the laws have to be changed to accommodate most of these things we are talking about.
The law has agreed for electronic voting, Mr.
I'm
Shribi.
agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But when you are talking about this type of transfer too,
Yes.
you will see that it's not just as easy.
We don't need a law to talk about the transfer. The law has already given you the provision to go the log. Electronic transfer, you could do electronic voting. You don't need a law to do that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so once the law has said you
It's
can do
easier,
electronic
it's easier
voting.
said than done. Number one, the issue of constituency remains sacrosanct, at least in the law. Then number two, the polling unit, you must identify with one particular polling unit. If you are staying in Taraba, the best you can do is to transfer from Taraba. You remove all your accreditation properties in Taraba and transfer it to another place entirely.
By traveling on our deadly roads from Taraba to Lagos State?
Wait, I've told you, as I'm talking to you now, at least we've had about 600 and something thousand people who have effected transfer within the past 1 year. It's not that difficult.
Why can't they be done online, Mr. Shribi? That's what I'm saying.
Registration is never done online.
We're talking
because
about
the law
transfer,
says,
not the primary registration,
wait.
the transfer.
It's a transfer of your voting right.
That's right.
I can assure you that you cannot even transfer, because you are talking about two different points from this place to another. You want to transfer your properties from here down to another place.
That's right.
The two of them must talk to each other. You just can't sit down in your house and then just do one.
Okay, so
What about those who assured you that it can be hacked? Why didn't they assure you that this can be done?
No, that's not the law. That's our guidelines. I'm telling you.
Yeah, this is not voting. He's talking about transfer, not voting.
I'm still telling you about the transfer. We have guidelines for the transfer, and as of now, the guideline says you must surrender this first card somewhere, and then you first of all have to apply. It's not just like...
Which can be done online.
Wait. You have to apply
to
that particular electoral officer.
That's right.
Can you go and the next local government to this place, or with the local government? Do we have to go there? Do you apply to that particular place online? Don't forget that we have only one register. There's only one register of voters.